Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. 6 things we learned from Chelsea 2, West Brom 5. It's one of those moments where I feel like I've taken some kind of psychedelic mushroom and then maybe in a few hours time I might come back to the real world and be like, wow, wasn't that an interesting trip? But no, it's actually real life, by the way. And if you are here watching this video, can you please do me a favour? Please subscribe to GBFC, and there's nothing great to talk about here whatsoever. If you ever expect to see me losing my absolute marbles, it's gonna be today. So if you wanna hit the like button for me, just to allow me to remain a little bit sane on this bizarre, frustrating, shambolic, catastrophic night. For me, middle of the day for you lot. I'm sorry that you've got the rest of your Saturday afternoon to have to put this through. I'm gonna try and knock myself out with this flipping tripod on my desk and put myself to sleep after this, because that was nothing shy of a disaster from Chelsea. I'm going to try and keep things as rational as humanly possible. However, it might be very difficult for me to do so, because more than anything else during that game, if you're in the live stream, credit to you for sticking with me, by the way, because I wasn't really a bundle of joy, as I shouldn't be, because we just conceded 5 goals at home to West Brom. But it's one of those where Chelsea do this thing where when things are going bad, we just cannot seem to dig into any kind of reserve of quality, energy, experience or leadership. And we just dig so deep into the ground that we fall through the flipping floor and into the crust of the earth. We capitulate every time we're under this kind of pressure. Credit, by the way, to West Brom. They were absolutely fantastic out there today. In terms of how the game was being played, when the score was 0-0, Chelsea went ahead in this game incredibly through Christian Pulisic. And within 60 seconds, we're down to 10 men and it changes everything. But West Brom, they parked the bus, played well for 25 minutes, conceded a goal, and then they got in themselves into positions that forced the red card for Thiago Silva. Instead of just being like, oh, Chelsea have gone down to 10 men, let's start committing everybody forward. Sam Allardyce, credit to him and credit to West Brom, they slowly started to push more players towards the Chelsea defence, started to put them under more pressure, and when they had chances, they took them superbly. I hope they get relegated, because I don't want to play them next season, because we conceded 8 goals in 180 minutes of football against West Brom. Like, it's more than anything, it's 5 goals conceded against West Brom. We conceded 2 in 14 matches before this. Like, can anybody actually fathom what's going on right now? Like, we've got Porto in we're Champions League quarter-finalists, and we concede 5 goals at home to a team that scored 2 in 7 matches before they come to Stamford Bridge. Like, I still think I'm tripping, you know? I've not actually taken any kind of psychedelic substance, but I feel like I'm tripping here, because this should not be happening on planet Earth. In the Premier League, in any footballing league. This is bizarre. This is beyond my imagination. West Brom win 5-2, and at some point or another, I've got to stop going delirious and crazy, and I've got to start going through the boxes. That if you're new to this series, we got a lot of red boxes today. Traffic light system. Red's bad, yellow can be worked on, green is good. We've got some reds today. I'm not flipping surprised. Are you? The first one, unfortunately, it's for Thiago Silva. And I say unfortunately because I love the geezer, but he can never play football against West Brom again. Even if he plays for Chelsea for the next 3 years, he's not allowed to play against West Brom. I will boycott the match. If he starts, I'll walk out. I actually wouldn't do that. It's a massive exaggeration because I'm emotional. But he can never play against West Brom again. He was awful at the Hawthorns, and he gets sent off. And focusing on the football here, 2 challenges that Jorginho's bad passes put him in a position where he needs to make a tackle. But the second one in particular, when you are on a yellow card and you are as experienced as Thiago Silva is, you just do not lunge into that whatsoever. So many people have said that the referee was bad, it was a block, not a tackle. It was a tackle. He takes out the man's legs, and whether he's shot already or not, it isn't the relevant point of interest in the mind of the referee. He doesn't need to be lunging in there like that, particularly with studs showing, and he's nowhere near the ball. It was a shambles from Thiago Silva. And, you know, let's be very realistic about things here. If Chelsea didn't go down to 10 men, I think there is only a 0.001% chance that the scoreline is still Chelsea 2, West Brom 5. So due to Thiago Silva's stupidity and moments of utter madness, it has been the catalyst for us to go on and get absolutely hammered, humiliated, embarrassed at Stamford Bridge against the relegation fodder side. We move into box number 2, and congratulations to those of you that predicted this one. It's another red box, and it's for Jorginho. I've said a lot of good things about Jorginho in recent weeks. I've eaten that slice of humble pie, but I will happily get a flipping chocolate cake out and smother it in everyone's face whoever disagreed with me up until that point. I don't even know if that makes any sense, but Jorginho was atrocious in this game. Passes that he did attempt to make going forward were nowhere near. I mean, like, it's as if he's been out on the boozer last night and then he rocks up and he's just like shooting like passes without even having his eyes open. He can't open his eyes, he's hungover. I don't know. Passes backwards that are just putting players into the most difficult scenarios I don't understand what's going through his head when he's making some of these passes. This is such a bizarre football match to even sit and analyse as a Chelsea fan and as someone who tries to be rational, but I think this is all going out the window here. Jorginho was awful today, and I've said it before, when he's on song, he's a very important member of this team. But when we went down to 10 men, we saw how much, under Thomas Tuchel, we've relied on everybody being in cohesion, knowing what the plan is, knowing man for man where we're supposed to be, what the job is, when to commit forward, when to not commit forward and to stay back. Soon as Silva was sent off, it seemed as though all of that went out of the window. And the most sad thing about all of this is that beautiful Tuchel honeymoon, that wonderful Manager of the Month trophy that we all ranted and raved about yesterday or the day before, it is over. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what we do against Porto. The honeymoon is over and it's all about game by game. Every match is a final now for Chelsea and it's not about the run. Our unbeaten run is over, and it is over in the most embarrassing fashion. I don't think, and I mean this here, I don't think I've ever been so humiliated by a result, ever. I mean, yeah, okay, I make these YouTube videos and I always say in my previews I think we're going to win. I do, because that's genuinely how I feel about it. But as this is my reactionary video and my post-match, I've never been this embarrassed. Ever. West Brom have been awful this season, apart from when they play against us. They had one dreadful half, but the other 3, monumental. Fantastic, West Brom. Best of luck to you. I hope you don't stay up, but you were fantastic out there today. Chelsea were appalling, and we move into box number 3, and it's a red for Kurt Zouma. I think in the second half in particular, first half, he didn't do very well at all for the goals. He was at 6s and 7s. He was all over the gaff. Positionally today, he was shocking. I'm trying to use words that are still PG friendly here, okay? I'm trying my absolute hardest because all I want to do is flipping rip the camera to pieces. Zouma was appalling. I mean, I played in the Wembley Cup as a centre-back when I'm not actually a defender. And I don't think I played that bad. Zouma was very, very bad today. Very, very bad. He cannot play in this game against Porto now. I'm not saying, by the way, that just because I'm reacting and saying very bad things about the players, I'm talking about this game. I'm not saying that Thiago Silva, Jorginho, Zouma should never play for Chelsea Football Club again. Please don't take it that way. It's not that. Zouma was awful today and he cannot play a Champions League quarter-final after a performance like that, period. Moving into box number 4, and it's another red again. No surprise, Marcos Alonso. Again, said a lot of good things about Alonso. Eaten a few slices of humble pie since Thomas Tuchel came in, and Marcos Alonso's been the best left wing-back at the club since that takeover. He was awful again tonight as soon as he was forced to do more defending because West Brom committed more players forward. And again, I bring it back, credit to Sam Allardyce. The way that he targeted the Chelsea areas of the field that were weak, targeted the right-hand side. Marcos Alonso exposed countless times at the back and out of position again when he was covering in the middle because Zouma had overcommitted to the left. The whole thing reeked from Chelsea today. It stank. And I think, again, for me, I was going to start Alonso in the game against Porto, but now I have to drop him. I think this result, even though I do believe in my heart of hearts that it's going to be a one-off, I don't think this is going to be a capitulation for our season from this point on. I don't think it will be. I think this is a freak result and a freak performance after an international break. And I think people are going to be talking about this for weeks, but I don't think it's going to keep happening. But I would 100%, because the key thing here is that there's not enough out there, especially when Thiago Silva goes off the pitch, there's not enough out there to manage these situations. And I think that the way that Chelsea fell apart in this game today, yeah, we scored another goal when it was 4-1 to make it 4-2, and we all sat there thinking, oh, maybe we could come back again against West Brom. Did we ever really think that? Like, I don't think so. There's no one out there who has the composure. Jorginho normally does have that composure, but today he was all over the gaff. Aspi as well, shell-shocked. Everybody was shell-shocked out there. I would drop Alonso and put Ben Chilwell in the side. We move into box number 5, and it's Thomas Tuchel, and it's a red. It's the first red box for Tuchel on the channel. At half-time, when the game is 2-1, Chelsea are down to 10 men, massive mountain to climb. The one player who will have just got a load of confidence from scoring a goal is Christian Pulisic, and he brings him off. I cannot believe Thomas Tuchel has done that. We've been crying for Pulisic to get Premier League starts, and to get a goal, to get the confidence, to start seeing the quality of player that we know that he is. He gets that goal. Yes, Chelsea fall apart in the final 4 minutes of the half, but he then goes and brings Christian Pulisic off when Jorginho has arguably had one of the worst first half Premier League performances a midfielder could possibly have, and he brings off the goal scorer. I'm sorry, that is unforgivable for me in context of this game. Not forever, I'm not Tuchel out, don't even try and start putting those words in my mouth. In the context of this match, for me, that is a dreadful, dreadful decision. And then Olivier Giroud, a man who is known for rescuing teams and scoring late goals, doesn't even come off the bench. And he's probably going to be someone that we call upon Porto. And if I was Olivier Giroud, I'd be looking at that thinking, blimey, you know what? I know that this team needs me, and I'll probably turn up and deliver again. And then I'm thinking, if after that, I still don't play Premier League games when Timo Werner puts in a shocker because he was poor today too, I'm not giving him a box, but I could have done. I think Olivier Giroud now, we have to call upon him. I think this is such an alarming result for Chelsea that I would change a lot. I would not, normally I'd say I have said it's a one-off. I still think so, but I think it's a one-off, but individual changes have to be made moving forward so that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. And there are players on the bench, like Olivier Giroud, who's not done much wrong when he's played for Chelsea this season. If we play the same side that got beat 5-2 at home to West Brom, and there are still Hudson-Odois, Gilmours, Girouds, Havertz's on the bench, I'd be fuming. And I think it has the potential to cause a big, big disruption in the Chelsea team if there aren't changes made as a result of this dreadful, dreadful result and performance. It is the worst that I can remember ever making a video about in my YouTubing career. And I think even in my life of supporting Chelsea, like I said earlier, I don't think I've ever been as embarrassed about a home defeat as I am by this one. It was atrocious. And box number 6, hallelujah, praise the Lord, a bit of positivity. I have to, because this would have been the worst video I've ever made otherwise. It's a green box for Mateo Kovacic, who I thought, despite Chelsea being beyond off the pace, like we were minus 40 degrees today, not even cold, it was Kovacic who tried to make things happen again and again. I think his dribbling was superb. His drops to the shoulder were superb. The way he took West Brom midfielders out the game to progress. Exactly what I said in my preview. Chelsea needed him in there to do that. But the other 10 players on the pitch, Mendy included, everybody else around him, not good enough today. And I'm going to wrap this video up here. I don't want to take up any more of your Saturday afternoon. There's nothing worse than having an early kickoff and getting beaten like that. I don't think it could be any worse than this, to be honest. So, the great news, whether it's great news or not, God forbid it's bad news, but we got Porto in a Champions League quarter-final on Wednesday. So, player ratings, I'm scrapping it tomorrow. I will dissect this game in a bit more detail. I'll probably get Jan on, hopefully, if he'll say yes, or Eunice or somebody. So, stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching. Cannot believe the video we've just made. But Chelsea 2, West Brom 5. Never again, please, Chelsea. That was appalling.